Good afternoon. I want to begin by extending New Year best wishes to all and sundry listening to this press conference. I believe that this year we open an exciting new chapter in the history of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. By working together, 2020 can be the year we make our streets safer, build bigger and better homes, create even more jobs, and provide opportunities for our young people and for every other person. This will be the year we position St. Kitts and Nevis for a safer, stronger, and brighter future. Indeed, future generations will look back and say, 2020 is when St. Kitts and Nevis really stepped up. This was the year Team Unity consolidated the gains and built the safer, better, and brighter future. What an exciting future we have within our grasp. Your Team Unity government continues to deliver our long-term plan to keep our federation heading in the right direction and to build a stronger and safer future. Today, I will update you on the progress we are making and the new measures we are putting in place to make that brighter and better future a reality. I must begin by thanking and congratulating everyone involved in the most successful carnival season in our federation's recent history. Carnival's success shows just how far we have come. The unprecedented large crowds showed what can be achieved when we strengthen and support our security personnel while creating an enabling environment to move at-risk youth from antisocial behavior to become more productive citizens. We vividly recall the time when our streets were unsafe, maybe too unsafe. People were scared to leave their homes. Mothers worried if their children would return home safely. Gunfire, violence, and murder were a regular part of our lives. It seemed those days were here to stay. Thankfully, that is now in the past. To God we give the glory for our growing safety and security under Team Unity. The people demonstrated their confidence in our safer communities by making this carnival season the largest and the best in our federation's history. Record turnout was recorded at the Calypso Show and other events. Children, families, friends, and even former foes laughed and danced together through the many events. Our Juve and Last Lap events were free of major incidents. Respect for law and order was high and noticeable. During Carnival, people told me how safe they felt, how excited they were, and how they never believed events in St. Kitts and Nevis could be held this way and without crime. Our expats, our returning nationals who came back, are today saying that something good is finally happening in our federation, and they are proud of the progress being made in this, their beloved country. I thank the police officers, the Defense Force officers, so their High Command, Commissioner Hilroy Brandy and Colonel Anthony Comrie, the attendants and the other security staff who gave of their time to make this carnival not only the best, but perhaps the safest in recent time. I also must thank my friend and colleague, the Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable Sean Richards, for all the hard work he and his team undertook to make this carnival season not only the best, but indeed one of the safest. We have seen what can be achieved when we are at peace. So why would anyone want to question that? Why would anyone want to change that now? Unfortunately, There are some unpatriotic people who would rather put politics before the lives of our people and to seek to score 3 political points. But why do they want to take us back to the bloodshed, the violence and death of the past, you may ask? The record of 35 homicides in 2011 was a collective shame. We must save our people from the senseless killing of each other and the disruption of our society. Too many mothers are still in pain because of the breakdown of law and order for 20 long years. We want a peaceful St. Kitts and Nevis, free of homicides. As Prime Minister and Minister of National Security, I pledge that I will do all that I can to keep our people and our beloved country safe. We have come too far to turn back now. We all know that it isn't by luck or by chance that our streets are becoming safer. It is because Team Unity is putting people before politics and working to deliver a better future for all of us. We cannot take our progress for granted. 2020 is not the time to go back to the same old ways, with the same old policies, under the same old rejected leadership of the past. Instead, working together with a unified approach, we can build a safer, brighter, and better future for all of our people. We stand on the threshold of a stronger and safer future because we have a strong economy. Our economy continues on the path of positive economic growth in 2020. This year will be the 6th year in a row, 2015 to 2020, in which positive economic growth will be realized in St. Kitts and Nevis under Team Unity. In contrast, in the last term of the rejected administration, the growth rate was negative in 2010, negative in 2011, negative in 2012, and positive in 2013 and 2014, for an average growth rate over the 5-year period of just under 1% per year. The economy grew insignificantly over that time, 2010 to 2014, notwithstanding the windfall of CBI inflows. The year 2019 recorded increased output in manufacturing, in tourism, construction, retail, and wholesale sectors. SCASPERS reports that our manufacturing enclave subsector did relatively well. We recorded 69,695 tons of merchandise. This was up 43,786 tons over the 25,909 tons realized in 2018 for a massive 169% growth in manufacturing exports year on year. This positive growth is expected to continue in 2020 with output driven by Harrissover Limited and Jaro Limited in the main. The manufacturing enclave sector realized increases in job creation in 2019, led largely by expansion of production lines at Cajola Cristada. Over 1,084 workers are employed in this subsector, comprising 142 workers at the Carib Brewery, 325 workers at Jaro Limited, 222 workers at Cajola Cristada, 37 workers at Bush Limited, 225 workers at Harrissover, 68 workers at Electrofab, and 65 workers at Sun Island Close. We are so proud of our workers in the manufacturing enclave sector who are very skilled and very industrious. It was so unpatriotic of the opposition to rejoice when the vagaries of a highly competitive international market caused Lutron to close. All workers at Lutron were offered jobs by Jaro Limited, and we are happy for them. Equally, we commend Jaro Limited for absorbing these workers. Our economy's strength was reflected in a boost in consumer spending on VAT days. For the 2 discounted VAT rate days in December 2019, our country recorded sales of 219 vehicles. 219 vehicles on 2 days, 2 discounted VAT rate days, at a cost of approximately $21 million. This was up from the $17 million recorded for vehicle sales in 2018, a substantial 23.5% increase in the dollar value of vehicles sold on VAT days. Of the 219 vehicles sold in just 2 days, 45 sales occurred in Nevis, and 174 sales took place in St. Kitts. Tennessee was the largest beneficiary, with 103 vehicles sold, followed by SL Horsford with 70, and CNC Auto Services recorded 46 sales for those 2 VAT days. In 2014, there were 155 vehicles sold on VAT days, and in 2018, we had 197 vehicles sold. So we are seeing the significant progression and uptake in consumer spending, which is a reflection that there is money somewhere in the economy. The level of tax revenue is also a good measure of the health of the economy, since this is the principal source of government's revenue. The 2 major revenue collecting agencies of the government are Inland Revenue and the Customs and Excise Departments. Inland Revenue Department collected a record $266 million in 2019, its best collection to date, while Customs and Excise Department collected $191 million, its largest collection since 2009. That is as far back as the controller could recover his records. The dynamism of the economy led to a record 658 business licenses being approved for January to December 2019. This is the largest number of business licenses issued in any year in the history of our beloved country. Of course, I need not remind you that these are not just numbers. These are men and women who have expressed their confidence in the right direction our federation is heading and want to be an active part of building that stronger future. These men and women come from all walks of life and all geographical areas of our country. People are confident in the health of the economy, and we encourage this upsurge in entrepreneurship. More businesses, of course, mean more jobs, higher wages, and more opportunities for our young people. But not just for the young people, for their parents, their guardians, and their loved ones too. It is a welcome development and one that we are keen to encourage. A key contributor to our economic strength is the vibrancy of our tourism sector. According to reports from our port authorities, tourism recorded 1,045,846 cruise passengers for 2019. This is the second year in a row that we crossed the 1 million passenger cruise arrival milestone. Air arrivals at RLB International Airport total 163,453 passengers, up 7%, or 10,113 passengers over the 153,340 arrivals in 2018. In 2020, we intend to invest more in tourism. This, of course, was articulated in the budget address in December. Additionally, a significant part of the investment will be made by the St. Christopher Air and Seaport Authority, SCASPA. We inherited a woefully inadequate and rundown tourism infrastructure. Prudent fiscal management, never before practiced as the rule, allowed us to make significant progress in correcting the rundown physical infrastructure. We have, for example, rehabilitated our infrastructure at the Robert Llewellyn Bradshaw International Airport by investing in the following areas. 1. Resurfacing of runway, taxiway B and C in asphalt. 2. The installation of brand new runway solar lighting system. 3. Installation of a new elevator within the departure hall. 4. Installation of a new conveyor belt systems and baggage carousels. And 5thly, surfacing of taxiway A in concrete. Alpha Taxiway would be fully operational, I am advised, by the first quarter of 2020. Our aim is to make the RLB International Airport the most used, the most user-friendly, the most efficient, and the most effective airport in the region. These transformational developments did not occur in 20 years prior to the advent of Team Unity. In less than 5 years, we have progressed in leaps and bounds. We need to lock in these gains by ensuring a return of the Team Unity administration. The operational second pair saw a record 4 cruise ships docked at Port Sante, an historic occurrence. These are positive signs that tourism sector will continue to grow over the coming year, providing real opportunities for all of our people. We anticipate that over 1,000 persons will secure new jobs in the hotel sector during the course of 2020. This is a most significant development. Koi Hotel began its soft opening on the 10th of January 2020. Is that so, Minister of Tourism?
Correct, sir.
Correct, sir. This is a 102-room resort under the Hilton Curio Collection brand. This beautiful seaside property has provided employment for close to 100 persons already, and this number will increase as the hotel's market profile strengthens. Work, of course, continues apace on Phase 1 of Seaview Vista Hotel at Tilloff and Ramada. All of them are working hard to bring Phase 1 of their property to successful completion. All these positive developments will provide good jobs for our people and strengthen St. Kitts and Nevis's reputation as the most sought-after tourism destination. The strengthening of our tourism sector shows that international investors are also confident in our economy and the right direction our federation is heading, and they want to be part of that journey. We welcome their enthusiasm and will be working hard over the coming year to attract even more investment. Indeed, the Minister of Tourism has me scheduled after this press conference to meet with some investors, and we hope that meeting will be a very successful one. I give no more details because I don't want to count the chicken before they are there. A strong economy, free from labor's IMF debt, means that we have the resources to invest in our people and the infrastructure that they need to lead fulfilling lives. Some argue that there is no more important infrastructure than a home. It is an intergenerational asset, critical to the economic freedom of our families and our people. That is why your Team Unity government is committed to building bigger and better homes for all our families. This month, the distribution of the National Housing Corporation's housing solutions will continue apace. I am advised by Minister Hamilton that on Friday, 15 homes will be distributed to beneficiaries in Phillips Village, in Christchurch, in Bellevue, and Tabernacle. The ceremony will take place at Phillips Village. Other distribution ceremonies, he advised, are to be held shortly in Sandy Point, St. Peter's, and other areas around the island. While these fortunate citizens are getting their first opportunity to own their homes in NHC projects, the Team Unity government is continuing to actively build homes on individual lots. Only Team Unity believes in delivering bigger and better housing. Only Team Unity has the resources through strong economic management to do so. That is why to date, my administration has assisted well over 3,000 persons with housing solutions. This is a phenomenal achievement by any standard. We have accomplished this historic feat through the agencies of the NHC, our health program, our roof repair program, our government employee mortgage program, and housing initiatives with other strategic partners. Yes, we have made a good start. Some say an excellent start, but there is much more we need to do and will do. We cannot provide more homes if we do not have more land in which to build these homes. Labor's high IMF debt meant that land was poofed away, land which should have gone to our citizens instead. Your Team Unity government is working to reverse this terrible mistake. This year, for example, we redeem another 200 acres of land from Labor's land for debt swap. This now brings to 400 acres the quantity of lands redeemed for ordinary people at a cost of EC $200 million. My government will make hundreds of lots available to the ordinary people of Lodge, Otleys, Cayon, Sandy Point, and Lamberts in particular, and to all our citizens and residents wherever they are. These lands, of course, will be used for residential, commercial, industrial, and agricultural purposes. Indeed, I am advised that we must never go back to the dark period of free-for-all and fiscal mismanagement that led to the shameless surrender of our land and our patrimony and nigh our country. Should our beloved Federation incur high debt like we had under Labour, all of our achievements would be killed stone dead. During the past weeks, the Douglas Labour Party announced a series of promises. The actions prove yet again that old Labour has not changed. They are still the same old party with the same old policies that will lead to the same high levels of debt and the bankruptcy of our country that took us to the IMF in 2011. The desperate Labour leaders are peddling promises they know they simply cannot pay for. some have noted that they had 20 long years to do the very things they are now promising to do. Why didn't they do them then, rather to come now in an act of desperation, hoping to fool our people? Be it at La Valley Greens or Gatwick Airport, the Douglas Labour has shown that it just can't manage money. Their unfunded and costed promises would plunge St. Kitts and Nevis back into crippling debt. Labour's approach is a danger to our economy and a danger to the future of the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, and our people must reject this dangerous approach. I want to turn now to some personal matters. Your Team Unity government continues to strengthen our administrative structures and ensure the best people are appointed and merit to senior positions. Further to discussions at Cabinet, I am pleased to announce the following personnel changes. Ms. Sheridan Warner has been designated as the incoming Chief Personnel Officer. We welcome her here today. She will succeed Mrs. Dorfrida Rochester, sitting next to her. Mrs. Rochester has applied for her well-earned retirement. Mrs. Rochester's calm, competent way of handling personal matters is her hallmark attribute. I want, on behalf of my cabinet, to commend Mrs. Rochester's professionalism and service over the entire course of her career in the civil service. I congratulate Ms. Warner on her promotion to Chief Personnel Officer. Miss Warner's, I'm sorry to marry you, Miss Warner's temperament, training experience, and progressive outlook should serve her well in her new assignment. And of course, she could continue to call upon Mrs. Rochester for advice. Mr. Ron Collins, he will take up the post of Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Public Infrastructure, Posts, Energy and Utility. I want to commend Mr. Collins for his service and deliverables in the Ministry of Labour, Ecclesiastical Affairs, Social Security and Nevis Affairs, from which he is leaving onto new assignment. Ms. Sharon Rattan will take up the post of Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Labour, Ecclesiastical Affairs, Social Security, and Nevis Affairs, and we welcome her to this new assignment. Mrs. Kerry Tuckett has been promoted to matron at the JNF General Hospital, and we welcome you. Mrs. Tuckett brings years of professional experience and superb qualifications that will help us to advance quality health care in St. Kitts and the Federation as a whole. I congratulate you, Mrs. Tuckett, and I want at the same time to thank Matron Daly Finley for her long and meritorious service in healthcare delivery. We expect, of course, that these experienced officers will settle in well in their new posts in due season. Reparations Committee. Ms. Carla Astafan has been named as the new chairperson of a broad-based reparations committee. The committee will pursue the 10-point plan enumerated by CARICOM with necessary adaptations, starting with an extensive public education program and reparations and issues related to our relationship with Africa. Ms. Astafan, of course, will be assisted by other members of that committee, and they will be identified and named shortly. We have at the cabinet level already approved the areas or the sectors from which the other membership would flow. Conclusion, 2020 is the year that will determine the future of St. Kitts and Nevis for generations to come. We have much to look forward to under this Team Unity administration. new hotels, new investments in housing, new resources for health and education, a real focus on agriculture and fisheries and forestry, unprecedented investment in information technology, and the advent of our National Health Insurance Coverage Program, which will save our people the worry about the costs of medical treatment, particularly in their old age or when they are unemployed. Imagine the potential that we can unlock in our people, especially our young people, if these gains are locked in. Imagine the future we can give our young people and indeed all our people if we keep our economy growing strong. Your Team Unity government commits itself to building that stronger and safer future. 2020 should not be the year we go back to the past. We cannot turn back now. It is not the time to go back to unfunded promises and high IMF debt again. No, we will not go back there. There is too much at stake to turn back and to lose all that we have accomplished in the last 5 years. So let us instead make 2020 the year St. Kitts and Nevis embraced a stronger and safer future and set our nation permanently heading in the right direction. I thank you for your time.